Hey y'all, it is Sunday Fun Day, and yes, it's me. I'm just a little hoarse. Forgive me. I lost my voice. Maybe I was screaming about the Canelo and Crawford presser. I don't know. We'll talk about that. D Star, how are
Yeah,
you doing?
my voice is very messed up as well. My voice is good. You know what I mean? Like it's just like the perk of being a dude. I just
Uh,
think we have stronger vocal cords than women.
oh,
I mean,
really?
we could go longer. You know what I mean? Like you know what
Oh,
I'm
is that what
saying?
that is?
You know what I'm saying, Christine?
No, I
Yeah.
don't. I don't
Yeah.
know what you're saying. Sorry, sorry.
Nah, but
Hey,
I'm good. Yeah.
okay, okay, good. So we're just we didn't even really plan this. We were talking about some things and we're like, why don't we talk about it online? Because I'm really curious about a lot of things. Like, recently we've seen that MVP is just signing up all the women. I mean,
Most
in
most big names, yeah.
most big names, two in the same weight class, a few of them are.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
but then there's some names, some big names that have not been brought up or signed. And I was talking to a friend of mine and I was like, well, what do you think it is? Is it that they don't
Yeah.
have enough to offer, or that their current promoters aren't letting them go? What
Right.
is it?
I mean, it could just be the logistics of it, right? So, like, there's only so many they're going to sign, right? So, if they sign 100 girls, there's going to be the next 10 that they didn't sign. If they sign 200 girls, it's going to be the next 10 they didn't sign. Whatever the number is, it's going to be an amount that they didn't sign, right? So, they can't literally sign every single woman on the planet, right?
Well, I,
Uh,
I think no, I don't think they
yeah,
want every single woman on the
sure.
planet. They just want all the top women, and they are, starting to
Mhm.
collect them all. But then there's a few, and it's
Making
like I
moves.
wonder why, because they would be perfect. There have been many, many that have been coming up and done amazing things that would be perfect.
Well, I
To be
want to get to your point about women that have not signed. We'll get there, but I first want to, and I'm sure you agree with this. I mean, I think what they are doing and what have done so far is amazing, right? So I don't want to
absolutely,
I don't want to come off as like because if I say hey maybe they should sign this girl, it doesn't mean I'm criticizing them. It just means I want to see them work with that fighter, right? But what I like about what MVP is doing specifically, because Christine, this has not really been done to this degree. It
no,
hasn't.
it's not. It hasn't.
Don King signed Christy Martin, but it was really only Christy Martin. Like Don
Yeah,
King didn't go out of his way to create a women's division or a
right.
stable of women, right? I mean, I think I'm thankful for Don King pushing Christy Martin the way he did. It was very important, but that's really what he did. Eddie Hearn deserves a lot of credit. Let's not forget about him and what he did for women's boxing. But again, it was only specific girls and his girls. It wasn't really women's
Yeah,
boxing
I mean,
as a
because
whole.
if we're gonna
Yeah.
mention Eddie, we can also mention Bob. You
Yeah,
know,
Bob Arum with
so
Michaela Mayer.
right.
Now,
So
yeah, Bob came around, but Bob, and he admitted it. He's like, oh, I didn't really believe in women's boxing, but now I do. So he came around. Michaela Mayer was someone that he took a gamble on. It paid off, in my opinion. He signed Sinisa. I think they did a great job with Sinisa before she
yes,
retired.
yes,
And it looks like they're not done with that, right? But
right.
again, and all those promoters, there's Boxer, there's Salida. A lot of them deserve a lot of credit. Don't get me wrong, right? But MVP, what they've done is take it to a whole nother level, like a
Yes,
whole new level. I'm talking about they're not just including women. Women are not included in their promotion. They're the main part of the
they are
promotion.
the promotion.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
like it's a women's boxing movement. It's not about
Hmm.
just pushing the women with MVP. It's about women's boxing, period. And I
Yeah.
think what they're doing
Period.
is great.
Period. Before we move on with that, Alexander says, "Is Katie Taylor with MVP, or is she still with her?" As far as I know to date, she is not with MVP officially. They might be doing some co-promotion, which I hear amongst talk that they don't like to do
Christine,
co-promotions.
I don't want to cut you off, but you're sounding like robotic. So I
Oh,
don't
am
know if
I? Okay.
you may need to go out and come back in.
Okay. Gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, just to add to Christine's point, yes, Katie, I'm pretty sure still with Eddie. But look, even Eddie Hearn is seeing the value of allowing MVP to do the promotion. This is the second fight in a row, and they have the pockets to do it, the investment to do it, and they're doing this with a lot of the female boxers. So I don't think it'll be said enough. Regardless of how you feel about Jake Paul, regardless of how you feel about um, just about anything involving MVP, you cannot. Um, Anyone who criticizes what they're doing with the women's boxing, I mean, you're just a hater of women's boxing. It's the way I see it. You just don't like women's boxing if you don't like what they're doing, right? But this is they just taking it to a whole nother level, in my opinion. So I'll wait for Christina to come on here, but yes, I do believe that Katie Taylor is still part of Matchroom. In fact, if you go to um, the just Matchroom in general, I mean, I'm going to their Instagram page. Well, it's going to be a lot of scrolling, but they still have posted content about Katie Taylor. So, it is what it is. Racine will be on a little bit, guys. She was on a robotic. I'm not sure what happened there, but it happens to streamer sometimes. And I think she's
How's
back
that?
on.
How's that?
Yeah, you sound good.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Okay, sorry about that. So we were talking about MVP, and you know what, the thing is, I was not criticizing them. I was
Sure.
just curious, because why wouldn't everybody want to be signed by them? I mean, they're paying their women, they're paying the women. You know what I'm saying? We're giving us the fights. They're giving us the fights that we want to see. So I'm just wondering if people wonder the same thing.
Yeah.
Sorry, I have an echo
The,
here.
the, the way I see it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Another thing I like that they're doing that other promoters like Bob had Michaela Mayer and Sinisa
Yep.
and but the way they're pushing them American women fighters we haven't really seen that, right?
No, that's
This
very
Eddie
true.
Hearn didn't really sign American fighters. There was a lot of girls from the UK and
That's
and,
true.
and that
Yeah.
part over there, and which look, I'm not knocking the guy. He's a UK promoter. It is what it is, but a lot of female fighters for a long time, Christine. I mean, even if they were Olympians, were not getting opportunities
No,
at
they
all.
weren't. No, they
Um,
weren't. They weren't.
and that they are changing the game from that aspect as well, which I'm. And of course, you were not criticizing them. Neither was
Yeah,
I.
no, absolutely not. Yeah.
But I was just saying that just because I already I'm just thinking ahead. I know what people are going to say. Oh, aren't you happy with what they're doing? Don't you see
Absolutely.
what they're
Yeah,
doing? Yeah, we
absolutely.
are.
Very, very happy. And it seems like other promotional companies like Boxer, they're trying to do the same thing. They have an
Mhm.
all women's card coming up in March. So I think people are starting to follow suit whenever for a long time everybody was saying, oh, nobody wanted to see women's boxing, nobody's paying women, and then Jake and MVP, they totally changed the game.
Yeah, 100%. You know what it is too? Like a lot of us think these things. We're like, man, if I had the money, I would push that. Like you know what I mean? But
Mhm,
we don't have the money.
mhm.
Like, you know what I mean? It is what it
Right,
is.
right.
I've always felt like they could make a real push to boxing in general for women's boxing, but promoters just won't do it. And Christine,
Yeah.
I hear like just horror stories of the way women fighters are treated
Oh
by
my
promoters.
gosh, we hear it all the time.
It,
Yeah,
it, it is amazing to me. Sometimes I can't even believe it.
yeah.
Stories of women that have to pay their opponents to get on
Oh my
cards.
gosh, that's like we don't. I mean, there was a time when you're like getting to a certain level, and then they're paying for the opponent. You're like, what? Oh, you're paying for the opponent? Like we
That's
pay
that's
for
like
it.
that's like that's worse than fighting for free. Like you got to pay your opponent. Like what? Yeah, I got to pay your
Exactly.
opponent.
And I mean, because really, realistically, you are fighting for free.
And
They're
what's
always going to make more
infuriating
than you.
Yeah, well, what's infuriating is that I always hear the argument, well, it's the men that sell the tickets, right? Well, maybe the big names, but like there's also dudes that nobody knows of that are paid well and they get on the big cards and I'm not even mad at that, but like for
Right.
some reason, it's like in order for the women to get on the cards, they have to be a big name like Amanda Serrano or Katie Taylor or Michaela Mayer or somebody like that.
Yeah.
No, like I just think the fighters should in general be treated equally, and base it on merit. And in many cases, the women steal the shows, and
Yes,
we'll get to more in a little
very
bit. But I
often.
mean, I have a lot of examples of women that have stolen the shows. There were the fight of the night, some more exciting fights, and promoters they don't give a shit. Like it is what it is. But then they complain when the men stink up the joint,
Right,
right? They
right.
complain about all these boring fights, but then you have these women that put on exciting fights all the time,
Hmm.
right? And they don't give a shit about them. So
No, they don't, and they're
what
not. They weren't getting paid by anybody else before Jake Paul came. They're being put on shelves. There's many stories about that. Where promoters have two fighters in the same weight class, and maybe put somebody on the shelf while the other one is winning, or vice versa, whatever. The one that was winning to give the other one a chance. It's just there's so many things that happen all the time, and
yeah,
and I know, and
look at what Jake Paul is doing, right? So he
mhm.
promotes Amanda Serrano. Is he screwing over other fighters just to push Amanda Serrano? No.
No, he's
Like, he's
paying
putting
them.
Amanda Serrano with the best possible fights with Katie Taylor,
Yeah.
and it is what it is. And you see that across the board, which is what,
Mhm.
and that's all we fight fans want.
Yeah, because think about it. How many times have we heard about a trilogy when it was not one and one? You know,
Right?
it's two and oh, and we're getting a trilogy. It doesn't happen like that. But their fight was so exciting and so amazing that we want to see it again.
And a fight that stole the show.
Stole the show,
Stole the show.
absolutely. Yeah,
So
it absolutely did. And I guess the reason why I brought up, about some of these other great fighters that have not been signed by MVP, because there's so many that I would love to see there. And you
sure.
and I have talked about it, because for instance, even Sky Nicholson or Chantel Cameron, they're not signed with MVP. And those are some of the tops. We have Beatrice, we have Shotgun Shannon. I mean, when's the last time that she lost like in a row, and she just beat Princess a few months
Jesse
ago?
Park. Yeah.
Yeah, that everybody said was going to be the next big thing. Michaela Mayer, Tierra Brown, O'Shea Jones. There's so many women that I'm like, why are they not being signed and scooped up? Because they're fabulous.
Well, just to give you an example, so the last time Shannon O'Connell fought was in December, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she beat Jazzy Barr.
Fabulous.
Right? And the thing is this, all right? It's like No Limit doesn't care, even though that fight stole the show, is the only fight people cared about in that card. Nobody remembers the other fights.
Right.
Like, nobody remembers who Jarvis fought. Nobody cared.
Right.
Like, nobody gave a shit. Like the fight that got all the attention before, during, and after that event was that fight, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And she wins, and they don't. It's like they don't care. That's the sense I get, right? It's not because she
Yeah.
hasn't tried. Like, she's trying to get a fight.
Right.
She's she tried to get a title shot, didn't work. No problem. Okay, give me somebody in the top five. Can't get anybody in the top five to fight. I mean, it's just it is what it is, and these are the politics women need to deal with. I mean, the
Yeah.
men have to deal with politics too, but with the women, it's whenever
It's more stringent.
yeah, but whenever you face a situation where, well, this opponent wants so much money for that fight, like the promoters are, well, there's nothing we can do then, right?
Yeah, exactly.
They just don't care. Like, it's amazing to me.
Yeah.
But here, like, and why this movement's important is because watch the ratings on, or the viewership that is on Netflix.
Mhm.
Watch the attention it gets on social media, right? I
Oh,
believe
yeah.
this all women's card is going to do better numbers than most men's cards,
Absolutely.
and they need to stop. They need to kill the stereotype. Well, it's only women's boxing. Nobody really cares, right? But sometimes the evidence shows otherwise. That
Right.
when a fighter fights, when there's a female fight and it steals a show, and it's the only fight people are talking about, right? That's a
Mhm.
clear sign that people do care, but promoters have convinced themselves that it doesn't
That
matter. It's
exactly.
amazing.
Yeah. I think the way that they were thinking in the past, I mean, I think that they were, and hopefully they're not now, was that, I'd rather have like a mediocre men's fight, than a woman's fight. And so they just totally would pass them by no matter how
So
horrible the
w-
men's fight
I
was.
used to host a roundtable. Okay.
Mhm.
And if you remember one of the early roundtables, and God bless him, but we had Nate Campbell on. I think you were
Yeah.
on the show.
Yes,
Okay.
I was. Yes.
And Nate Campbell, I mean, he was just saying, I don't want to watch the women. I'd
Yeah, I
rather watch
remember.
two shitty men than two
Yeah,
women on the card because those two shitty men actually have a shot of knocking each other out
that's true.
where
That's
we
true. He
never
did
see
say that.
knockouts of the women. Right. And he was very blunt about it. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Right. But I don't know if he still feels that way or he's changed his mind. But
Yeah.
time and time again, boy, has that been proven wrong, right?
Time and time
You're
again.
not going to
Absolutely.
convince anybody that let's watch two shitty men over
Right.
a lot of these women fights that we've seen on these
Yeah.
cards.
Agree. Totally agree.
Much better fights that have stolen the show. It is what now we got it to a point where Mayor Ryan were the main event, and we
Yeah.
had prospect men on the undercard,
Yeah.
and it made all the sense in the world. And here's another thing, Christine. Mayor Ryan, highest viewed fight, not female
Yeah.
fight on ESPN last year.
Yeah. I know. It's beautiful. I mean, I'm just so happy that these women are proving all the naysayers wrong, you know? But if you could change like one thing in women's boxing, what would it be?
Um, Me personally, like I'm not that big on the 3 minute thing. If they want to change it, change it. If not, I'm okay with it either way. I don't think that makes women's boxing bad or good. If
Mhm.
anything, it kind of helps with the urgency and making the fights more exciting.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what I would change is, and this is not really women's boxing, it's boxing in general, is give the women opportunity based on merit if it's there, right? If they're getting the attention on social media, give them the same opportunity you would give a male fighter for getting that same type of attention.
Hmm.
That's what I would change.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. About the 2 and 3 minutes. I think that they're like on two sides of the fence. Some say yes if we're getting paid more, and then others will say yes because we did that in the amateurs. And then there's those that don't want to go, 3 minutes. So it's kind of divided. It was everybody wanted 3 minutes at one time, and now it's very divided. But let me ask you this. So do you feel like, because in the Olympics, the men do not wear headgear. So if they decide to
Mm,
go pro right after, it's cool. They're used to it. And even if they don't, they've done it before, so it's
okay.
okay. It won't bother them later. But women, they always have headgear on, in the Olympics, but not in the pros. Do you think that that should change
I
in the
mean,
Olympics?
I'll be honest with you. Like, I would have to look at. I'm a science guy, right? So I would, because I honestly don't know. I don't know if they've done studies on the
Mhm.
anatomy of women, and if that I would have to know what the study is. Has
Right,
it been peer reviewed, or is it just somebody just saying, they're women, they need to wear it? Like I really don't know
yeah,
what it is.
right.
In my opinion, I've always been okay with amateurs wearing headgear.
Mhm.
I've always been okay with it. Not so. I get the argument that you take more damage to the head,
You're right. The
but
brain moving around, yeah,
which is I get it, but at the same
yeah,
time, because the amateurs fight so often, and in one tournament could fight 3 4 times, they're more prone to getting elbowed and cut and things of that nature. And you want to protect them from that. That's just my opinion. But
yeah.
I'm actually in favor of going back to headgear with the men. But
With the men,
so
yeah.
I'm the opposite.
Yeah, no, I am too, honestly, because the cuts, in the Olympics and in international
Yeah,
tournaments
could you
are high.
imagine like you're in the semifinal, you're winning, but then your opponent
Yes.
headbutts you and you're
Yeah.
cut ugly, and now you can't fight because you have an ugly cut. You can't even
It
go to the great medal
happens.
match.
It
So
happens. It happens all the time,
yeah.
and it's not fair. So I think I would like to see it too. Excuse me, I really would. Um, but any last words on the women, because I want to kind of touch on Crawford.
Look, I just like the word that matters is merit. That's the word that matters, right?
Hmm.
And is there merit to it? And like, look, I don't want a female to be put somewhere just because she's a female, right?
Right. You want her to
Uh,
earn her way.
yeah. But we need to discern and establish what earning is, and I just find time and time again, I the evidence shows otherwise. I keep hearing, well, nobody wants to watch the women, yet more people watch the female fight on ESPN than any of the male fights,
Yeah, that's
right?
true.
I keep hearing nobody cares, but like the fight card I told you about, right? Like
Yeah.
again, totally random, but there's many cases like this. In
Hmm.
December, Shan O'Connell fights Jazzy Parr. It's the only fight people give a shit about. It's the only fight people are arguing and going back and forth
Yeah, going
about
back and forth about
on
it. Yeah.
social media. It's the only one that had interest. Nobody cared about Jarvis. Nobody cared about any of the fights but the two women fights on that card, right? That's it. So merit wise, there are times where the women don't get the credit they deserve and the opportunities that they deserve, right? And
Yeah.
what I will say is for MVP, just keep it going,
Yeah.
keep
Let's
it
keep it
moving.
going.
I would even encourage MVP to do this. I mean, it's just an idea, but a lot of women want to be with MVP. They want to be there bad. So you could have box offs. You could offer two women, you two
Yeah,
fight.
tournaments,
The
like
winner.
tournaments in different weight classes.
Well,
Like,
here's what I'm saying. Like this is what I want them. This is the message I want out there. Women want to be with MVP so bad that MVP has the ability to hold box offs. Meaning, hey, you two women fight, the winner gets a contract, a 3-fight contract with MVP, right?
yeah,
You could do fights like that, and women will do it, right? So that is just something that they could take advantage of, in my opinion. But
absolutely, absolutely, they can take advantage of it.
yeah,
But I think also a problem is some of these ladies, not some of them are signed with other promotional companies, and now that these promotional companies are seeing, that MVP is paying, they're going to hold on to their champions, and unless they pay whatever
yeah, there are
they need to
promoters
pay to
out
get out of the
there.
contract.
There's these guys, there's these middlemen out there that
Hmm.
want to masquerade as promoters, but really all they're doing is holding on to an investment so somebody pays their investment and then they get a cut out of it. That's
Yeah,
all they're doing, right? And there's many of them
yeah,
out there. To me, they are a waste of space,
yeah,
and
they
all they do is hold shit back, and it's a reason a lot of these fighters are on the shelves
yeah,
and things of that nature. But look, I'm if MVP wants to buy out these fighters so they could get a contract with MVP, then do it, right?
yeah.
But yeah, I definitely do see that. I do see that happening more for sure.
Yes, God willing, because we love our women in the ring. But I kind of want to move on and just touch on about the presser today.
Hmm.
A lot of people said that they really thought that it was all an act. The face off, the
I
pushing, it
mean,
was
let me just
staged.
say this, right, Christine? So I'm so happy for Canelo and Crawford for being such great fighters
Hmm.
because if they had to be actors, like they wouldn't
Oh
win any
Lord.
Oscars. You know what I mean? They wouldn't win
Okay,
any
so you
Oscars.
think it was staged too then?
You know what that looked like to me? I'm going to be honest with you. I think somebody told them, "You guys are being too friendly, having dinner together, talking about how many kids you got, and this, that, and the third, and like, and you had all these fans complaining and bitching and moaning. Oh, why are they getting along? Why are they having dinner together? I want to hate each other. I want to like do it." So that's what they did. Like really, like Canelo went like this, and Crawford's like,
No,
give me a break.
Canelo did not push him first.
No,
You
I'm
didn't
not.
see
I
how.
don't care who pushed too far. What I'm saying is Canelo went like this. And supposedly Crawford is like, oh, like give me a break. All
See,
right. That was the fakest beef I've ever seen in my
and I didn't
life.
see it like that because they're both so calm. They're confident. They do talk shit,
Right.
but they're very calm. So to me, it was not out of character. It didn't look fake. It looked real to me.
I think somebody told them, hey, you guys gotta like give us a little more. We gotta promote this fight. And that's what they gave us. That's what I think happened.
Okay, well, I don't, but all right.
I
So what
mean,
did you?
Crawford's trying to talk like he's like, yeah, I'm not gonna run. I'm gonna run my fist up your head. Like,
I
and I'm
mean, he
like,
didn't say it quite like that, but yeah, that's how
I
he
mean, that's how it came off. Like it's just like it's forced.
yeah,
You're not gonna beat me. Believe me, you're not gonna
that's how
beat
he
me.
talks.
Like
He speaks with such confidence, and he was
that
like
was Canelo.
everybody that was booing me, or thinks that I'm going to lose, I want to see y'all crying at the end of it all. To me, I was just like, bam, let them know.
You think that was a mic drop? I just
I
didn't feel
do.
it. I didn't
I
feel it.
do. I
I
do.
just I just think he was told to say something. It's like, all right, I'll give you guys something. Like
That's
I'll
how he speaks. That's how he speaks. It was so him. That's why I said it was
it
so
just
natural.
it feels like they want to be WWE. Like it feels like
No. Speaking of WWE,
mhm.
Canelo needs to be worrying about Crawford in September, and he's already talking about like fighting in WWE. Why? Why even say that? Is that part of the contract? Like
No, but WWE
Dana
is
said,
not
you got to
real.
mention WWE at least one time in each
Maybe he did.
telecast.
I don't know, but like so because he said he's interested in doing something with WWE. He's not focused on Crawford. Come on, Christine. Like are you trying to sell us
No,
this right now?
no, I'm like,
He,
bro,
he's not
worried about
focused on
Crawford.
Crawford because he mentioned WWE.
Yeah,
Is that what you're telling me right now?
yeah, yes, I am.
What?
Absolutely.
No, you're forcing that.
Focus, focus, focus. Don't
You're
even look
forcing that.
beyond. Don't even look beyond September 13th. Don't do it.
So because he said, yeah, I'd like to do WWE one day. That's it. He's not focused on Terrence Crawford.
Yes,
No, no, I don't
yes,
know. What do you mean?
yes.
By the way, I don't know what Canelo's so like when Crawford said he had 7 kids. Canelo's acting like as in Mexicans don't have a bunch of kids all over the place, right? Number one, second,
You said they don't.
Mexicans have like my grandparents had 13 kids,
That's what I'm
right?
saying. Oh, I thought you said
Like
Mexicans do not
it's
have a bunch of
like.
kids.
But why is he acting shocked that someone had 7 kids? Like you're Mexican, Canelo. You have 6 brothers, bro. Well, what are you
Well, and
talking
the
about?
thing, the thing, people were like crucifying Bud because he had his children with one woman and had another one with someone else. But Canelo has like 3 baby mamas, and I'm like, oh, okay, we're doing that.
Well, Canelo and Crawford, in fact, they're allowed to have mistresses and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Oh, really?
That's right.
Okay, all right.
Well,
Allowed or not, they did
when
it.
you're multi-time world champion, pound for pound list, and you're filthy rich, and you got millions of dollars, then what are the women going to do? Like threaten to leave? Or what are they going to do?
Um,
I'm just kidding, by the way. I'm just joking.
I'm not even gonna touch that.
I'm just
All,
kidding.
all
But
I'm gonna say is, so you're
I'm
saying
gonna
that
get
you
killed.
thought everything was fake. Okay, cool.
No. What I'm saying is, I think they were being like friendly. I didn't care. These guys who were talking in the ring anyway, right?
Yeah,
But fans started to complain, right? They were getting mad because they had a dinner with Turk El Sheikh. Like, who gets mad about
that
that?
was so dumb.
Boxing fans get mad. Oh, they're having dinner together.
And took
Why?
a,
I
or
want
they
to
were like,
hate
oh,
each other.
they were like, oh, they can have dinner, but don't take a picture. What?
I don't know.
Okay.
So I think somebody told him, hey, the boxing fans want you guys to beef and go at each other's throats, and that's what they gave us. Like I think that's what happened.
You
I
know, I
think
will say, I will say this.
I think they talked about it. Like I think I do. Like I think they were in the back and like, hey, so they're gonna walk through me, right? And then like get in my face, Crawford, and then I'm gonna push you.
No,
And then
he
Dana's
didn't
gonna
push
get in
him
the
first.
middle.
Crawford walked him back first. Just saying
And
for the
then
record.
oh yeah, you walked them back. Oh yeah, you really I want to see him walk them down in the ring is what I want. Let's see that. Because
He's not
you and
dumb.
I know he's gonna be
He's not dumb. He's very smart.
okay. So let's not talk about walking somebody now when you know he can't
He did
really
it.
walk them down,
He
right?
did it.
Like what happened there was like this
Canelo
was
got mad.
planned,
He was
Christine. No, Christine. They talked about it. Like this is how it went down. Listen to me. Watch. This is what happened. Hey, Crawford, this is what we need to do because the boxing fans that are mad at us, and because we had dinner together. Okay, so what you need to do for your 7 kids and me for my 3 kids, we need to sell the fight. So you're gonna come to me, walk to me, keep walking to me, and I'm gonna push you. And then they're gonna get in the middle, and everyone's gonna get excited. Christine's gonna love it, right? And
no,
then
as a no, actually, because in your scenario, Canelo is the boss until he's telling Bud what to do.
well, I mean,
That's all
he's
gonna
the A
happen.
side. He's the A side. He's the one that makes the most money. It's a mega fight because of
And
Canelo.
that's
I think
great.
he is the
But
boss.
Bud is not gonna take
That's
orders
it.
from Canelo. Just
No, that's
saying.
not an order. It's just they just had a
He
conversation.
might be
I'm
like,
sure Bud chimed in a little bit. Oh, yeah, we could do that, and then I'll do this, and they talked about
yeah,
it.
I don't think so.
I just think it looked fake to me. I just got to be honest. I think it looked fake.
You wanted to see blood or what?
No, like they just don't do that. Just have a face off. You know what I mean?
They had a
Like
face off.
I know they did, but those fans complaining, they weren't happy with that. Like they want to see like dudes go through tables, and I don't know what they want, but I think they want blood, but like, they want like a beef, Christine. They want them to dislike each other. Because boxing fans really want that. So
They don't.
that's what they
I
gave
mean,
them.
they're friends. They're friends out of the ring, but in the ring, there's no friends. So they may not be hate, but they're
I don't know.
both.
I don't know if they're friends now, but
I mean, I'm not saying they're going
they're they're
golfing
they're,
together.
they're friendly out of the ring. I don't know if they're friends,
Whatever,
but
however you want to phrase it. They don't
you know what I
hate
mean.
each
Like,
other. They don't hate each other, but they are going to try to knock each other's heads off fight night.
do you not remember how Canelo, when he was pissed off at Caleb, how he pushed Caleb Plant?
And got frustrated.
No, but do you see how he pushed Caleb Plant?
It was a lot harder.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like that's how you push somebody when you're frustrated, and not
Right, but he knew
Christine.
that Bud would punch him.
If I saw you and I pushed you like that, like you would just think it was a cute shove. Like you wouldn't even be like, "Why'd you push me?"
I think Canelo probably didn't want to piss off Bud.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. You don't want to do that now because, well, what's Bud gonna do? Well, what's he
Bud
gonna do,
was
Christine?
walking him down, so Canelo got nervous and pushed him off.
Bud was walking down Canelo.
Yes.
Like the way you're framing this is totally not
Watch
what I
it,
saw.
bro. Watch it.
I've watched it a million times.
Well, then you didn't watch that part.
I definitely watched that part.
You started with the Canelo
So when
pushing
Canelo went
Bud.
like this, why did Crawford go like 3, 4 steps back? It
You
was just like this.
started with Canelo pushing
Crawford
Bud.
sold the push because it wasn't that hard of a push. He sold it because they agreed to do this thing to
All I have
appease.
to say is I
They
talked
wanted to
to
appease all these fans that want to see violence at a press conference.
okay. All I have to say is that I talked to Jimmy.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, Jim Lampley the other day. And we asked him
Did he cry?
who he thought would win. And he said, I'm hopefully going to be, commentating that night. So I can't really pick a
I hope
winner,
so. I hope
but
so.
I know what Bud's going to do. He's going to be very smart. He's going to go
Mhm.
in, out, work
Oh,
the
he's not going to
table.
walk him down, Christine?
He already did.
That's not walking down. What he was
So
just he was
he will not
walking
walk he will not walk him down. And I will tell you why.
because he can't.
Because that's the only way that Canelo will win.
He's not going
Is
to walk him
by
down because he
someone
can't. He can't
standing
walk
in
him
front
down.
of him.
That's why. He's not going to do it because he can't, Christine. He's not able to do it. That's why. It's not.
I'm going to record the whole fight because I'm going to clip
Do
a
it.
part when he does walk him down or he has him in the pocket.
Oh,
It's
okay.
going to happen.
We'll see. Like he's gonna walk him down. Okay, he's gonna walk down Canelo. I'm gonna tell you right now. I already know what Crawford's gonna do.
Okay.
I already know what
Prediction
he's
right
gonna do.
here.
He's gonna box a very negative fight. He's gonna be on his toes. He's gonna try to get in and out, and that's all he's gonna do
I
all
just
night.
told you
Okay.
that.
Okay, and no, that's what he's been doing. He's planning to fight a very negative fight. Do you see him squirming on his feet when
I
Turka
don't
said
know
one more
what
time?
negative fight means. Like I've never heard that
You
before.
know exactly what that is, and
I
and and
don't.
and, and now we're playing pretend. You're gaslighting, so
No, go
people
ahead
can
and
like,
explain.
I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. What do you
A
mean? You know what that
negative
means?
fight. Explain it.
When a fighter is refusing, or let me put it in this terms: a Tom
Refusing
and
to
Jerry fight.
exchange.
A Tom and Jerry fight.
Never.
Do you know what a Tom and Jerry fight is, or we're going to pretend we don't know
Of
what that means?
course, but it
Well,
would
that's a
definitely
negative
not be
fight.
that.
I call it a negative fight. He calls it Tom and Jerry fight. Right?
Yeah.
That's what he's planning to do because that's the only way and his only chance of beating Canelo. He can't
Okay.
walk him down. He can't fight him on the inside. He can't do any of those things. He's got to run around the ring. It's the only way.
Okay,
It's his
you
only
heard it
chance.
here, guys. We'll be talking about this after the fight
Well, we're going to be talking about it for a long,
for a
long
long,
time. That's what
long
we're going to
time
do.
because
Because
I'm not going to let you get off.
okay, I mean, we're going to see. I mean, he's like, and you know what? I didn't catch this live, Christine. But when I was calling Benavides or one-legged Benavides,
Mm-hmm.
and you were like, "Why are you calling one-legged Benavides?" I mean, why do we have to say that about him? What is it? Because that's one of Crawford's biggest wins. Is that why?
It wasn't his biggest win.
It's like top 10 in his list for sure. Name me
Top
10
10.
fights.
That's very broad.
I
But
mean, top
okay.
10 best wins
Yes,
for
top
Crawford.
10. Okay, top
You,
10,
you know, but
sure.
but but like he barely walked down a one-legged dude, but he's gonna walk down to Canelo
Well,
Alvarez.
I tell you what. I tell you what.
And I'll tell you another thing that Christine's scarred about. She's still scarred about the whole Triple G thing. You know what I
I'm
mean?
not scarred,
You were a big Triple
but I
G
thought
fan.
I still
You
am.
love Triple G. Yes,
Absolutely.
yes. And then when he beat Triple G, you were kind of butthurt about it.
He
It is what it
didn't.
is.
He didn't beat it. He was unfairly given the win.
No, we're not gonna do that.
Yes, we are.
Well, he wanted the rematch for sure. Canelo did.
First one, Canelo lost.
Remember when Canelo walked him down in
No.
that second fight? Oh, he walked him down.
Mm-mm.
He walked him down. This was after Golovkin was like, he didn't fight me Mexican style. He didn't fight. And then Canelo stepped up to him. All of a sudden, Golovkin didn't want to step up. Right? So
Okay.
it's what it
Okay,
is.
so look, let's just skip all this. So in September 13th, I am going for Bud. I'm going to make a bet in Vegas
Do it.
on Bud, okay? You're going to put money down on Canelo?
I don't got to gamble on the fight. I mean, it is what it is.
No. We can exchange a dollar.
I mean, I don't want to take, I don't want to take your
You
money.
won't. Trust me, you won't.
But don't you like? I'll bet the dollar, and I'm gonna frame it and put the dollar right here.
Hmm.
It's gonna say Christine's dollar. It's gonna say on it.
And I'm going to have your face on the dollar. And I'm going to put it on my door of my office and say, this is a sucker free zone.
So you're telling me right now, like like let's just be honest, Bud's gonna run the fight. Like
He's going to
that's
win. He's
no,
going to win.
I'm telling you what he's gonna do. Like everybody knows, he's been
He's going
laying
to
the
win.
groundwork for it, right?
He's going to win.
This is why when Stevenson fought a very negative fight, Bud went out of his way to defend Stevenson, even though half of the arena was walking out of the arena, right? This is why he went
It
on the
will not be a
podcast.
boring fight.
He went on the podcast with Andre Ward, right? And he was telling everybody, boxing is not about fighting. It's boxing. It's about hit and not get hit. And that's when Teofimo Lopez was fighting Jermaine Ortiz. He was just talking about how Jermaine Ortiz won because it's hit and not get hit, even though Lopez hit it more. But guess what? Jermaine Ortiz was running, right? So people think running is defense, and that's not the case, right?
People use that so much. I mean, how many fights have people really run? 3, 4.
You know what I mean? Now, don't
And
get me
now that's
wrong.
the big thing.
All I want to know, Christine, is he going to pull Jermell?
Wow.
He's not going to do that, right?
You think so? No way.
I don't know. Once Jermell felt the power, all of a sudden, Jermell's like, I'm good.
Okay, we'll
Right?
see. We'll see.
Because I kept hearing about what Jermell was going to do to Canelo.
I will gladly take your dollar.
Okay.
Gladly. And then I'll give it back to you.
So, who's fought the better fighters, Christine, in their career?
I mean, I'm not talking about all that right now. I'm talking about who I'm picking to win.
We could talk about what we want to talk about. It's the question.
Yeah, we can, but I'm not feeling like indulging or proving my point.
All right. I just think Canelo is the hardest puncher this guy's ever fought in his life.
Okay, well, we're gonna find out.
All right, that's all I'm saying. And I'm going to tell you right now. Like, did you see him squirming on his seat when Turkey said no more Tom and Jerry fights?
No,
Crawford looked a little uncomfortable. He was like,
not at all.
he looked like he was squirming on that seat. I'm just saying,
Not at all.
But I just see win, lose or draw. It's going to be a lot of movement in that fight. Now I saw the short where Jim Lampley was asked about that. Great interview, by the way. Everybody should go check it out. But here's the thing. And I agree, Jim Lampley should be a commentator in that fight.
Mm-hmm.
He brought up the example of Ray Leonard and Marvin Hagler, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, I know how he worded it. And the way he worded it, Christine, was, well, if I talked to Larry Merchant and Larry told me if he was able to get a decision against Marvin Hagler, but notice how he worded it.
Mm-hmm.
Most people feel Hagler won that fight.
Okay.
That's the part that I don't know if he mentioned it later, but that's the part that we should not forget about.
No, he didn't mention it.
So most people feel Hagler won that fight.
Most people feel like Amanda Serrano won against Katie Taylor.
And here's another thing, Christine. But here's the thing: Ray Leonard requested a bigger ring against Hagler. Why do you think that is?
You're talking to me like I'm five.
So what was he doing? They're rhetorical questions. What was Leonard doing in every middle round? What was he doing? He was running
Well,
around the ring.
obviously he was running.
So 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 here's the thing: if the plan is to attack early and end strong, like Leonard did, right? I just don't think that's going to work. I just
Well,
don't.
the thing is you can think all you want. You say
Mhm.
what you want. We give our opinions, and we will see in September. And I am so confident, but so are you. So let's see how it all plays out.
I don't think you're that confident.
Oh, I'm very confident, darling.
I think you're going to be very nervous. That's what I
No,
think.
not at all.
I do. Like
It's
like you've
okay.
been you knew
Like
we
I
were going
said,
to
you
talk
can
about
think
this.
what you want to think.
Like you're like, hey, let's talk about Crawford Canelo. And I said yes, and you got so nervous you lost your voice, right?
Oh, is that what it is?
So you're
Okay.
like, oh no, but then you lost your voice because
Okay.
it's so. Well,
Yes.
what I'm saying, like, I just want to say one more thing, right? Look, a lot of it is banter. Look, obviously Crawford's a great fighter, and I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I don't think it's going to be running around the ring like
Oh, you're
William
so
Score did.
kind. I know he appreciates
Right?
that so much.
I don't think it's going to be running around the ring like Jermel, right? I don't think it's going to be scared and like I don't want to get hit anymore. I think Crawford has more huevos than that. I do.
Yes, he does.
So, and because of that, I think it's going to get hurt in this fight.
You really?
I do.
Okay.
Okay, if Gamboa had him doing the salsa dance, well, what do you think Canelo's going to do?
We're gonna find out. We're
You
gonna
don't like it
find
when I
out.
bring up that Gamboa fight, but it's okay.
It's always love with you, brother. We
Huh?
we razz each other, give each other a hard time, but it's all love, bro.
You know. No, but look, it should be a great fight. Look, first, what I will say, the closer we get to the fight, all the people that said no one cares about this fight, it's not going to be a big fight, they're going to be, they're all going to look stupid. This fight's going to be huge. It's going to be a big
Huge.
deal.
It's
Big
gonna be
deal.
huge.
And speaking of Hagler Leonard, I find it interesting that Larry Merchant brought that up to Jim Lamley because I've been saying it. I have a video up about it. This is the Hagler Leonard of this generation. Only this time the Hagler's going to win. You know what I
If
mean?
I don't see it, it didn't happen.
What's that?
If I didn't see it, it didn't happen. Where's the
Oh.
video? And I'll give you credit.
The video's up. I've been called the Hagler Leonard of
Okay.
this generation.
All right. Well, any last words, bro? Anything you want people to know, and where can they follow you? Because you haven't been on in a while. So
I've been in the back of a milk carton, but it is what it is. No, look, I'm around. Just subscribe to my channel, Style Boxing. Follow me on Twitter, and I'll get active again when I get active. I've been extremely
Buddy
busy,
Bud,
and
let's get active.
you know what I mean. So that's what it's all about. Like I gotta start doing shows again to until I lose my voice, like Christine. You know what I mean?
I
But
know, right?
I just haven't gotten there yet. That's all.
Well, everybody, thanks for tuning in. This wasn't really planned. It kind of was, kind of wasn't. So Sunday fun day. Everybody have a good night,
All
and
right, guys.
love to love you.
Peace.
Peace.
Are you still live?
Let me end this.